The stars above Trinexus 9 were cold and silent. The colony floated in deep space, wounded and forgotten. Once a busy trade world, now it was a ghost, burning, broken, and scared. Commander Naira Valen stood at the top of the colony tower. Her purple skin was marked with ash and her eyes were tired. Fires burned in the distance. She could hear the cries of the wounded through the comms. Their shield generators were gone. Their food supply was low. And the enemy, the Varnock Empire, was preparing for the final strike. She touched the panel on her wrist. "Try the signal again," she said quietly. Her assistant, a young cadet named Fyro, looked up. "But Commander, no one is answering. No one has answered for 7 days." Nira nodded slowly. "Try again, just once more. Maybe someone. Anyone." Fyro didn't argue. He pressed the transmission button. A soft pulse of light escaped. The antenna, carrying their final message. "This is Trinexus 9. We are under attack. Civilian lives are in danger. Please, help us. Anyone." The signal shot into the void of space. It passed broken satellites, drifting ships, and old battle debris. Then, silence. In the enemy's warship, Varnock General Rezik Thal laughed. "They're still hoping for rescue?" He leaned back in his throne of bones. "Fools. No one is coming. The humans, lost in time, weak, soft." His officers chuckled. "Should we crush them now, my lord? Let them suffer another day. Let their hopes burn out first." Back on the colony, Commander Naira sat alone in her room. She looked at the stars, whispering to herself, "Where are you, Earth?" Many thought Earth was a myth. The last time anyone saw a real Earth warship was nearly 80 years ago. Since then, the humans disappeared from the galactic map. Some believed they had destroyed themselves. Others said they went silent by choice. But Naira had read the old records. She remembered the stories of giant human ships with glowing eyes, of warriors who fought like shadows, of fleets that appeared from nowhere and ended wars in seconds. She had always believed those stories were true, and now she was praying they still were. Meanwhile, deep in unknown space, a tiny listening satellite, sensor node 114, picked up a weak signal. It blinked once, then again. A human AI, forgotten, in a cold station, woke up. It read the signal. It recognized the code. Origin, Trinexus 9. Threat, Varnock Empire. Status, critical. Human lives detected, 0. Allied species, requesting aid. The AI hesitated for 0.2 seconds. Then it opened a locked channel. Far away, on the edge of human territory, a massive object began to glow. The object was silent, hidden, dead for decades. Until now. On a black moon orbiting a dead planet, Admiral Cade Cross opened his eyes. "Sir," said the officer beside him, breathless, "we received something strange." Cade stood up, his boots heavy on the steel floor. "Show me." The signal played. The image of Naira Valen filled the room, dusty and scared. The message ended with static. "Origin?" Cade asked. "Trinexus 9, deep in Varnock space." The room went quiet. "We have no alliance there," said another officer. "No humans. No benefit. Should we ignore it?" Cade didn't answer. He turned slowly toward the glass window. Outside, buried in shadow, were rows of silent ships. Each, one shaped like a dagger, each one dark and deadly. The Admiral touched the glass. "Wake them up," he said. "All of them." "Sir?" "Earth may have gone quiet, but we never forgot. No one begs for help on our watch and dies alone." Back on Trinexus 9, the colony's night was quiet. Too quiet. Commander Naira stood again on the tower. She looked up one last time. "Maybe they were just stories," she whispered. Then, a flicker in the stars, a small blue light, then another, and another. Not meteors, not debris, Ships. Silent. Sharp. Moving fast and at their lead. A giant warship, shaped like a cross, burning with white fire. Fyro gasped. "Commander, is that—" Naira's lips trembled. They came. Start with a unique, suspenseful moment. The enemy scout ship drifted silently through the black fog of Sector 7, just outside Trinexus 9. Its engines made no sound. The pilot, a Varnock captain named Krish, scanned the space ahead. "Nothing but stars," he muttered. "The colony will fall by tomorrow. No one has answered their call. No fleet, no backup, just ghosts." He reached for his drink, but never got to taste it. His ship vanished. Not exploded, not broken. Vanished. No fire, no alarm. Just gone, like it was erased from the universe. Nearby enemy ships tried to contact him. No reply. Back inside the Varnock command cruiser, General Rezik Thal stared at the empty screen. What just happened? His officers checked their systems. No damage recorded, no missile detected. It's like something swallowed the scout ship. Rezik growled. "No ship does that, not even cloaked ones. Keep scanning." Suddenly the lights flickered. One officer's console began blinking, then froze. A symbol appeared on the screen, a silver circle, a red triangle, and a glowing letter, H. The officers stepped back. It can't be. Rizik's eyes narrowed. Humans, far across the stars in Earth's classified Outpost 13, Admiral Cade Cross stood before a round table. Around him, 3 holograms shimmered. Commanders from Mars, Europa, and the asteroid belt. "This isn't our fight," one said. "No, humans live on Trinexus 9, said another. Cade kept his voice calm. "That colony sent a distress call. No one else answered. We did. And your fleet? They've been sleeping for years. Hidden. Rusting." Cade smiled. "They've been waiting. Not rusting." Inside Hangar Vault A, giant human warships hummed to life. These weren't normal ships. They were Silent-class dreadnoughts, built during the Forgotten War, covered in stealth armor, programmed with semi-living AI cores, faster than light, colder than fear. One technician whispered, "I never thought I'd see them fly again." As the first ship launched, its ID flashed, HSS Echo 9, Command Class, Ghost Cutter. On Trinexus 9, Commander Nira Velen sat in the medical bay beside a wounded child. She brushed the girl's hair softly. "Mommy said humans are stories," the girl said weakly. Nira smiled. "Then I hope the story is real." Suddenly, alarms sounded across the colony. Unidentified ships entering orbit. Fyro ran in, breathless. "Commander, there's something here, many things, big things." Nira rushed to the control room. On the screen, a shadow spread across the sky. One by one, warships appeared, silent and black like night birds. One massive ship hovered above all, its metal body carved with ancient human runes. A voice crackled through the comms. "This is Admiral Cade Cross, Earth Terran Defense Force. We received your signal." Nira froze. "We're here to help," he continued. "If you'll allow it." Nira's voice shook. "We allow. We thank. We welcome." Fyro wiped his eyes. They came. Outside, the people of Trinexus 9 poured into the streets. No one spoke. They just looked up at the giants in the sky. The myth was real. Earth's fleet had come. Meanwhile, inside the Varnock War Council, panic spread like fire. "They're human ships," one screamed. "Impossible. They were extinct." Rezik slammed his fist on the table. "This is no myth. This is war." Another officer asked, "What do we do?" Rezik's smile returned. "We make them regret ever waking up." He leaned forward, fangs bared. "Launch everything." Back in space, Earth's fleet was silent. It didn't move fast. It didn't speak again. Then, without warning, it vanished. All of it, like ghosts into mist. Enemy sensors blinked. "Where did they go?" Before anyone could answer, A Varnock cruiser exploded. Then another. Then 6. No weapons were seen. No heat signatures, only the Earth symbol, blinking once on their broken screens. Begin with an eerie silence and psychological fear. The Varnock soldiers on the command deck were no longer laughing. They stood frozen, eyes wide, hands shaking. The air felt heavier. The screens showed nothing but static. The stars were still there, but something had changed. One whispered, "We are being watched." No one spoke after that. Then suddenly, all the lights across 6 warships turned off at once. No explosion, no signal, just off. General Rezek Thal shouted into the dark status report. An officer trembled. "They're inside. I think they're inside our ships." "How?" "We don't know. We didn't see them arrive." Meanwhile, above Trinexus 9, Commander Naira Velen looked up at the sky. The Earth ships had vanished. People thought they left. Some even cried. But then the sky cracked. A silent ripple tore across the clouds. Suddenly, a ship appeared, massive, black, glowing faint blue. Then another. And another. No fire, no sound. Just a slow rise of giants from behind the moon, hundreds of them. Their shapes were sharp, unnatural, designed for fear. Admiral Cade Cross stood on the bridge of the lead ship, HSS Echo 9. He watched the Varnock fleet move into position. "They brought everything," said his officer. Cade didn't flinch. So did we. A blue screen lit up, showing Trinexus 9 below. "Is the colony shielded?" "Yes, sir." Cade gave one nod. "Begin." In deep space, Earth's fleet came alive. They didn't open comms. They didn't fire missiles. Instead, they launched ghost drones, tiny machines that moved without light or heat. These drones slid between enemy ships, invisible. Each one carried nanite clusters programmed to target command systems. Within seconds, enemy weapons stopped working. Engines froze. Doors refused to open. Inside a Varnock destroyer, Captain Hrell screamed, "Fire! Fire!" His gun crew pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. The screens turned black. Then a message appeared in human text. "We are here." Hrell backed away. "No, no." Then the floor below him opened, and the vacuum of space swallowed his screams. Back. In Trinexus 9, civilians watched the show from the streets. There were no laser beams, no bright battles, only Varnock ships dying quietly like lights being turned off. Fyra whispered, "Are they fighting?" Naira said nothing. She couldn't look away. It wasn't war, it was punishment. Back aboard Earth's flagship, Admiral Cross gave one last order: activate the cloaked dreadnoughts. In the outer belt of Trinexus 9's orbit, 5 silent dreadnought-class ships decloaked. They were huge, 3 times the size of Varnock's capital vessels. Their hulls were covered in old war scars. Some still dripped frozen blood from past battles. One by one, their sides opened, revealing particle annihilation cannons, a forbidden weapon under galactic law. Cade didn't blink. Fire. The sky above Trinexus lit up. Not red, not orange. White. So bright that people covered their eyes, so powerful, it left shadows burned into the ground. In one strike, 5 Varnock capital ships were erased from space. The sound came after, like a distant thunderstorm breaking the silence of death. In the Varnock High Command, Rezek fell to his knees. He had never seen such power, not like this, not so calm, so quiet, so final. He turned to his second-in-command. "How did we forget what they are?" the officer whispered. "We thought the humans were gone." Rezek stared at the screen, now filled with static and human symbols. No, they were sleeping. Back in the colony, children clapped, elders wept. The people of Trinexus realized something. The humans didn't come to make friends. They came because someone dared to ask for help. And now they were reminding the galaxy we never left. Begin with a Varnock war song, turned into silence. Inside the Varnock war chamber, drums echoed. Soldiers pounded their fists on steel. The old battle chant of the Empire filled the air. We crush, we burn, we own the stars. The chant shook the walls. It had led them to countless victories. But tonight, in the middle of the chorus, the power went out. The drum stopped. The room fell cold. A whisper passed through the darkness. They are already here. In orbit, the battlefield twisted. The Varnock fleet, once proud and massive, moved into a tight assault formation. Thousands of fighters launched from their hangars, black, fast and sharp. They formed a swarm ready to consume. General Rezik Thal shouted, "Send the full force, overwhelm them." He still believed numbers could win. He was wrong. On board Earth's flagship, HSS Echo 9, Admiral Cade Cross stood still, hands behind his back. "Enemy has launched over 700 strike ships," his officer reported. "Let them come," Cade replied. "Prepare the walls." Across space, Earth's fleet split. From between the large dreadnoughts, strange crafts emerged. Long, thin, almost invisible. They were the wall runners. Tiny ships with no weapons, no armor, only speed. One officer muttered, "They can't fight." But they didn't need to. They only needed to guide the enemy into the trap. The battle began. The Varnock swarm rushed forward like a black wave. But the wall runners danced between them, fast, confusing, impossible to lock on. The swarm broke formation. Ships chased in different directions. And that was exactly what Earth wanted. At that moment, 4 autonomous gravity blades were launched. These weren't weapons. They were machines that tore space itself. The blades spun silently, slicing gravity, around them crushing anything nearby like a black hole kiss. In 1 second, 200 enemy fighters vanished. No fire, no debris, just silence. Commander Naira Velen, watching from the colony tower, gasped. What did they just use? Fyro was speechless. That's not a weapon. That's a storm. Across the colony, civilians watched in awe and fear. Some cried with joy. Some dropped to their knees. One old engineer whispered, "They broke every law of war." And someone replied, "They are not following your laws. They are writing their own." In the enemy capital ship, panic broke. Ships lost contact. Pilots screamed into dead radios. Systems failed. A Varnock warlord shouted, "Use the flare cannons." But Earth's ships had already moved. They weren't attacking from the front. They were already behind the enemy. Every shot the Varnock fired missed. Every defense was turned the wrong way. Rizik growled, "They know our moves before we make them." Then he saw something strange. A single small Earthship flew straight into the heart of the Varnock swarm. No weapons, no shields. "Destroy it," he screamed. All guns locked. All missiles fired, but none hit. The small ship blinked, then split into 10 holograms, each flying in a different direction. It wasn't a ship. It was a decoy. Back aboard HSS Echo 9. "Sir," said an officer, "they've lost over half their force." Cade nodded. "Continue." "But sir, they're retreating." Cade didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He simply said, "Not yet." Then he activated the final protocol. Release the silence. Across Earth ships, a low-frequency pulse was sent out. Not a weapon. A signal, meant only for machines. It spread through the wreckage, through enemy ships, through broken drones. And then, every Varnock AI shut down. Turrets stopped moving. Engines died mid-flight. Weapons dropped cold. The enemy fleet became a floating graveyard. Commander Naira Velen stood in quiet wonder. Fyro whispered, "Is it over?" Naira slowly nodded. "No, this is just the beginning." Because now the galaxy had seen the truth. Earth wasn't weak. It wasn't extinct. It was watching. And when it moved like a ghost, with fire and silence. Begin with a flashback from the enemy's forbidden archives. Long ago, the Varnock Empire built something they swore never to use. It was too unstable, too dangerous. Even their own scientists begged them to destroy it. They called it the Maw. A weapon that did not explode, a weapon that swallowed stars. Now, in the heart of the enemy's last battleship, General Razik Thal stood before a sealed vault. The battle above Trinexus 9 was all but lost. Earth's fleet had torn through everything. But Razik still had this. He pressed his palm on the cold steel. The doors groaned open. A deep hum filled the air. The crew nearby covered their ears in pain. Inside was a black sphere, floating, pulsing, alive. "Prepare to launch the Maw," Razik said. His second-in-command gasped. "But sir, that will destroy everything. Even our own ships." "Do it!" Razik roared. "If we die, we take Earth's ghosts with us." Meanwhile, aboard HSS Echo 9, Admiral Cade Cross watched as the enemy began to regroup. Something felt wrong. "They're not fleeing anymore," he whispered. "They're preparing something." He turned to his tech officer. "Scan for gravitational shifts." A few seconds later, the officer turned pale. "Sir, something is forming. Below their ship, space is bending." Cade's eyes narrowed. "Is it a weapon?" "No. It's a mouth." In orbit, space twisted like liquid. A dark circle appeared below the Varnock fleet. It wasn't fire or light. It was absence. Stars around it disappeared. Even sound vanished. Then the screams began. Small ships started to fall toward it, pulled by invisible hands. Even some of Earth's own smaller crafts were caught off guard. Commander Naira Velen, still watching from the tower, saw the sky begin to bend. She held the railing tightly. "What is that?" Fyro whispered. "A black hole?" "No," Naira said. "It's worse. It's feeding." Back on Echo 9, Cade stood still, thinking fast. "That's not natural," he said. "That's engineered." His second officer gasped. "Then we're all dead." Cade slowly turned toward the back of the ship. "Not if we use Titan protocol." Everyone in the room froze. "But sir, Titan requires a human host. Once activated, the pilot won't survive." Cade looked down. "I know." In a quiet corner of the ship, Commander Rai Karan, the youngest ace pilot in Earth's fleet, stood waiting. He had heard the message. He knew what was needed. He volunteered. "No one else should die today," he said simply. He stepped into the Titan module, a massive golden pod hidden deep within the ship. It pulsed with ancient energy, built from both human tech and something older. The pod launched. It rocketed out from the underbelly of the flagship, heading straight for the Maw. Inside, Rai's heart raced, but his hands were steady. He could hear the voice of the weapon in his mind. "Welcome, Titan. Ready for fusion." The module changed shape mid-flight, unfolding like wings. Enemy ships saw it coming. Razik screamed, "Shoot it down, now!" But the cannons wouldn't lock. The weapon was too fast. Too strange. Rai whispered, "For Earth," and dived straight into the center of the Maw. There was no explosion, no light. For one long moment, everything stopped. Time, sound, even gravity. Then, a pulse. Blue light burst across the sky. The Maw cracked, then shattered. The pull was gone. The stars returned. Earth's fleet floated unharmed. But Rai was gone. No signal, no trace. Only a small piece of his ship drifted in the black, glowing. On Trinexus 9, silence. Then, cheers. Tears. The people raised their hands to the stars, shouting his name. "Rai, Rai, Rai!" Commander Naira watched the sky. "He didn't destroy the weapon," she said softly. Firo blinked. "Then what happened?" Naira smiled sadly. "He became the weapon." Begin with the sound of a heartbeat, and then silence. Thump, thump, thump. Nothing. Inside the Titan pod, Commander Rai Karan had closed his eyes. The energy of the weapon had burned through his veins. His thoughts were fading. But before the final second, he whispered, "Please, let them live." Then all went dark. Across space, Earth's fleet floated in silence. The Maw was gone. The enemy ships, now leaderless and lost, began to drift away or power down. Admiral Cade Cross stared at the monitor. The last image it showed was Rye's ship, glowing, as it vanished. His voice was quiet. He did it. Around him, the command crew lowered their heads. No celebration, just silence, for a hero who would not return. Back on Trinexus 9. The skies were calm. Ash fell slowly, like snow. Civilians stood in the streets watching the stars. Everyone had seen the blue burst. They didn't know what it meant, but they felt it, deep in their hearts. Commander Nira Velen stepped out of the tower and raised her voice. "It's over," she said. "You're safe now, thanks to him." Someone asked, "Who was he?" Nira turned toward the sky. Humanity's answer. In the ruins of the Varnock command ship, General Rezik Thal crawled through smoke and broken glass. The Maw was gone. His fleet, ruined. His empire had no power left, for the first time in his life. He felt fear, but also something stranger. Respect. He coughed and looked up. They, gave one man and destroyed everything. Hours later, on Earth's flagship, Cade Cross stood before a quiet room. All officers, all crew, all soldiers. No speech, no orders. Just one small item on the table, a medal, inscribed with Rye's name. Underneath, only 3 words: "He chose us." Cade finally spoke. He knew the price, and still he went. He looked up. "We will not forget." But this story isn't just about death. It's about why we fight. Then a small voice broke through the ship's silence. "Admiral, we're picking up something strange." Cade turned. "What is it?" "It's a signal, very weak, and human." Cade rushed to the console. The message came in static, then a voice. Tired, quiet, familiar. "Am I home yet?" Everyone froze. "Rye," Cade whispered. Somewhere near the wreckage of the Maw, a pod floated, broken, but alive. Inside, Rye's eyes blinked open. He was weak, his body burned, but he was breathing. He looked out the cracked glass and saw the stars, and just beyond them, Earth's ships coming for him. He smiled. I kept the promise. Back on Trinexus 9. Children painted Rye's ship on the walls. A statue was raised in the colony square. A man with no weapon, only a hand stretched toward the stars. Commander Nira touched the statue and said to the people, "Do not forget his name. He was not a god, not a legend. He was a human, and he chose to save us." In the Varnock ruins, a final order was written in the broken databanks. Do not attack Earth again, not because we fear them, but because they do not fear death. Begin in the far future, with a child's question. "Teacher, is it true?" the young alien girl asked, eyes wide. "That one human stopped the Maw?" The old historian smiled. Her face was wrinkled, her voice soft. "Yes, little one. His name was Rye Koran, and though time has passed, the stars still remember him." She pointed at the glowing symbol above the museum entrance. A circle, a wing, a single flame. The mark of Rye. Decades earlier, just after the Battle of Trinexus 9, the colony had begun to heal, fires were out, roads were cleared, families were reunited, but there was a space in everyone's heart, a space shaped like the young human who gave everything for them. Admiral Cade Cross stood on the landing pad as a small pod was carried in. Rye's body was inside. Peaceful. Still. No words were spoken, only salutes. Even Nira stood in silence, holding flowers from Trinexus soil. Firo, the cadet, placed a medal on the pod's side. "He came from far away," Firo whispered, "but we will keep him close forever." The Funeral was unlike any other. No grand fire, no explosion. Instead, a quiet ship carried Rye's body into space, toward a new star that the colony named after him, Corin's Light. As the ship drifted, all of Earth's fleet blinked their lights once, a silent goodbye. Across the galaxy, those who watched the footage cried, he was not royalty, not rich, not famous, just a man who chose to answer a call. In the years that followed, the Varnock Empire fell. Their leaders feared Earth's return, but Earth never came to conquer, they came to protect. And because of that, many species offered friendship. Some joined Earth's alliance, others simply whispered stories to their children about the war, the silence, and the boy who lit up the void. In a quiet part of the new Trinexus library, a small room held only one thing, Rye's helmet, underneath, etched in glass. He didn't save a world because he had to. He saved it because he could. Back to the future and in the classroom, the teacher took the children outside. She pointed to the night sky. See that bright star? The children nodded. That's Corin's Light. Every year, on this day, it shines a little brighter. Some say it's his way of reminding us that courage doesn't need an army. Sometimes it only needs one heart. The little alien girl held her chest. I want to be brave like him. The teacher smiled, eyes moist. Then remember this. Rye never asked for reward. He never wanted fame. He just wanted to do the right thing. And now, the stars carry his name. Final scene. In the deep quiet of space, far from colonies, fleets, or noise, a small probe floats. It holds one message, playing on repeat forever. Rye's voice, soft, calm. If you're scared, don't be. Even in the dark, someone is listening, and someone will come.